The rules that I didn't write here are that the thing is to be comprehensible. There's no translation, there are no other languages involved. It's exactly the same as you learned or you picked up English when you were a child. Stage 1 is where you pick up a basic language without anything except a visual and audio. Whenever you start to understand it, you can start to do the actions, and you'll find yourself starting to say the stuff as well. It's worked very fast, but that's part of the process. You have to hear it a lot of times. Then when you've got that listened or watched or whatever 10, 20 times, as many times as you can, you come on a weekend course and we'll explain to you all the basics of what we're doing. We'll go into more detail on all this stuff. So as you understand what's going on, why we do things, you can ask as many questions. Get that all ironed out first. You want to understand and trust what's going on, and that gives you the assurance that you know that you're not going to be wasting your time. A lot of people are afraid of a new language. There's a whole lot of reasons for this, but two of the big ones are embarrassment, that you think you're not pronouncing the thing right. That problem is dealt with by the fact that you're hearing probably the best native speaker of Irish in the country. You're doing it at home, out of sight of everybody, you just tear away yourself. Nobody hears you. You know yourself when you're doing the thing right. Just pick it up at your own speed. And the regression in terms of the fact that you've got to go back to things that are so simple that you don't even think about them anymore, and you've got to learn those things. But at the same time, we do that by repetition rather than by drumming it in. You'll hear it enough times. It's so basic that it's you pick it up. Don't try to learn it. Just let it sink in itself. The only thing you have to do is try and keep as quiet as you can, because the more you're speaking, the less you're hearing. It's like learning music. When you watch the first DVD 10 times, you're totaling somewhere around 16, 17 hours. Stage 2 then is the first weekend, and during that weekend we will be going through all the stuff that you've seen before and adding a few bits like yes, no, all that stuff. We don't go into any grammar terms because we're not talking grammar, we're talking a language, but we cover them all. So we're going through, you'll hear past tenses, you'll hear future, they'll all be mixed up, and everything will be recorded so you can see it all as many times as you want at home. You'll figure it all out. It's just like riding a bicycle. It takes you a wee while, you wobble about a wee bit at the start, but once you get on it, we show you how to shortcut things, and we show you what not to worry about and what to concentrate on, and a whole lot of dodges like that. We also show you an idea of what we've been doing, if you haven't already got it from this video. This gives what I call the interactive language. In other words, anything that you need some other person to be involved with, that gets your brain up thinking quick, and you're starting to become part of a community. That's the main thing about it. You're becoming part of a community. Stage 2, the first weekend, or what we call the interactive stage, will improve your confidence without any pressure. There'll be no pressure on you. You don't have to speak. You'll know yourself when you're ready. Total contact time for the first weekend will be 30 hours. Every weekend will be 30 hours.
Tóg y span as a ceir o bóla agus cur a bhharta.
You might want to cut it down a bit, but we'll see what happens.
Réba, níos cranich na Spáin móra. Cranich na Spáin móra agus cofiad a hagad sin. In 3 céir cóid Spáin. Nuair a dúirt a cóid Spáin a chu rítúh na bólaicin.
The fact that you know it's going to be videoed means that you don't have to really make an effort to take notes or anything like that. Just let it on one ear, let it out, and don't panic. What happens then is you can repeat and see. You nearly even don't have to ask to hear a thing a second time. You just remember that all the time, that you're able to go back over the thing as many times as you want at home. You'll not miss anything.
And Gláine, tóg an Gláine cát an cúrsaine.
Brian.
Má húlan, má bhíal, dá bhíal, cát with the bhíal. Cúr hí? Chanú do hordas. Chanú do hordas, cúrstecha. And 3
Each activity is done in English first, and then we move into Irish, and the rest of the sessions can be taken in Irish. It amounts to rehearsing first in English and then moving over into Irish, and it's a very natural way of working. This will all be filmed and you can come back to that later. Then you watch this material from the first weekend, you watch that an hour 10 times. Try to total it up as much as you can. The more you watch it, the easier it becomes. You'll find yourself starting to repeat. You'll have remembered bits of crack, all that sort of stuff will fall into place. It's a kind of sandwich course. You watch the videos online or on DVD as many times as you can, then you come to one of the weekends to use the skills that you've picked up from the video stuff. That happens then the second weekend and the third weekend. In Scotland, they claim fluency after 200 hours of immersion. We don't know whether that's true or not, but we'll soon find out.
Tucht Kustan, Anani, Gahoka, Agus, Gahud, Gahuosh, Gahutosh, Snorson, Habi.
I'm not making any claims about 200 hours to fluency because fluency is a very relative term, but I think well under 200 hours you should be an independent speaker, which means you can go out and operate in an Irish environment without major problems. You're not going to know everything, but you'll have a good idea of what's going on. If you put it in our way, you're ready for school. You're ready to start reading and writing and stuff like that. That's just the way it works. You model it onto child language acquisition because that's the perfect model. Don't expect people really to be going back to their childhood. It's not going to happen, but this is the way we do it. And you'll end up doing most of this in your own home, so nobody will even know what's going on until you come out the door. As long as you don't make a big deal of it yourself, there isn't any big deal, but you just have to put in the time. Being prepared to put in the time will depend on your commitment to things. Weekend 2 must be in the Gaeltacht because we want you to be exposed to an all-Irish speaking environment. The second weekend will be user defined within our guidelines. You need enough Irish to be able to go into a company of people who are doing what you do in Irish, understand fairly well what's going on and be able to use your Irish at some stage or to some level to make yourself part of that company. That's all it involves. You'll pick up the rest as you go along. We'll have local native speakers coming in and out during the days of the courses. The next stage is again 10 viewings of the DVD that we made this time on weekend 2. The third weekend is user defined in terms of both location and content. It will involve a summary of everything done so far. We'll go on and do the logbooks. You clock up the amount of hours you've done, all the practice, this and that, and we go through resources for all this sort of stuff. There's a whole lot of more stuff there. All this information will be filled into a sort of a logbook, so you and other people coming after you know any mistakes made, where we messed up, what we need to improve, how many times it took to, all this sort of stuff. It's very important information we need.
Go on. Go on. Go on. And that go on? And that's not all.
And you'll also be asked to give an undertaking that you won't use any English again to anybody that ever was on one of these courses.
Agus cofiad a gíost.
Móra. Trí a fáil a dé. Sin ceart? Yay!
Chani. Agus Ni gan a brai. Oh,
By the end of weekend 3 and having watched the videos of that again for another few hours, your fluency in Irish will be adequate basic fluency, I would put it. This program is an introduction to something that you do yourself. We don't acquire your Irish for you, you have to do that yourself. It requires some effort, but we've made it as easy as possible. We're not going to either ram a language down your throat, nor are we going to push you forward at a speed you don't want to go. But once you've undertaken this, we won't be using any more English again ever. It's as simple as that. There's no race here, there's no competition, and there is not any exam. The 3 weekends plus all your video watching time comes to a total of 135 hours, and that is made up of 45 hours of video watching and 90 hours of live interactive language. This program's intensive but shouldn't ever be boring, and if you miss bits you can watch the whole thing as many times as you like at home before coming back to what could be the first weekend of your life as a full citizen of the New Ireland. Don't expect this process to be automatic, but if you put the time in and relax, you'll get there. Do expect it to be successful, because it will be successful. And do expect not to look back. As soon as you turn the key and open this door, you'll see something that you've been denied for years. There's been a big deal made about language acquisition by the people who profit from it, but if you don't mentally make a big deal of it, you will succeed. There are a whole lot of materials. You can go run after them and chase up a lot of stuff on the internet. You can go down the road of a whole lot of academic stuff, but the best thing to do is just take our word for it and get on with it.
Tussen, Torgen, Tuchen, Mening, Bre, Chapels en Erwe Wardaleng, Begouentlan Eskreis, Dabebini et Dezor, Dabebini et Wirione.
Full supporting materials for this program are available on ocr.ie. Can I have taki at the league done Orbert Shaw, file OCR stad IE. Good kid, my